Firstly, I subscribed to your channel a few weeks ago and have been watching at least one of your videos every night. Thank you for taking the time to narrate people's experiences. It's comforting to know that these things have happened to many of us. Before I get into my own experiences, I would like to give you and your viewers just a little bit of background. I wasn't born into a religious family, although my family has always considered themselves Christian. I went to church a few times with some family friends when I was younger, but I could probably count the occasions on one hand. In school, we had a chapel, and I do remember one day a friend of mine taking me to the chapel and having someone ask the Holy Spirit to enter my life. It was a long time ago, but I do remember having the most wonderful feeling overcome me, almost like energy had entered my body. Even after this, I did not go to church. However, before and after this event, I always prayed for friends and family, etc., as I did believe that there was something much bigger than us out there. Fast forward a few years. I had finished high school and was about 18 or 19 at the time when I had my first experience. I had just started seeing a girl, and life was getting exciting. One day, it was just me and our maid at home, a common practice in South Africa, where I'm originally from. It was early afternoon, around 12:30 or so, and I told her that I was going to go have a lie down for a little bit. I went through to my room and closed the door and lay down. I had just started to drift off, but before I fell into a deep sleep, or maybe as I went into a light snooze, everything went pitch black all of a sudden. I then saw a flash of bright light, a very bright light. Everything then went black and then back to the bright light again, where it stayed. Now, can I just say that at this point, people would be forgiven for thinking that I had fallen asleep and that whatever happened next was a dream. But I can assure you that as far as I'm concerned, I was wide awake, but no longer fully in my body. It felt like I was half in and half out. It was at this point that I heard the most amazing thing I have ever heard. I couldn't see them, but I could feel them all lined up on my right-hand side, a choir of angels standing side by side, singing the most beautiful song. There were no words, only the tune of the song. The light got brighter the further ahead I looked. I could feel something calling me in the distance. I say feel, because again, there were no words, but only what I can describe as a force or telepathic communication by someone or something asking me to go to them. I was shaking my head, saying to this being that I did not want to go. Why didn't I want to go, you may ask? Well, I had a girlfriend now, and my whole life ahead of me. I just didn't want to go. I didn't give it much thought. This person, or being that was asking me to go, didn't say anything further, almost like my decision was easily accepted. Everything went black again before the light flashed one last time, and I felt myself get sucked back into my body. I jumped straight up off of my bed and ran through to our kitchen to look at the time. What felt like ages since I had gone to lie down had only been about 5 minutes or so. It was a long time ago, and so the exact times, etc., I can't remember. But at the time, I do remember thinking to myself that the whole experience felt a lot longer. I'm not sure what or why this happened. I was healthy. It was almost like I wasn't meant to go, but maybe a message to me confirming that I was right to believe. I was right to keep on praying because someone was listening. That is what I like to believe, at least. I told a close friend of mine soon after this happened, and nobody else. I only told my mother about a year ago. I'm 44 now. It doesn't end there. After this experience, my intuition, and, if you like, my knowing or gift of seeing things happen before they did came to life. This may not fit with the subject matter of your channel, but I do feel it's relevant to my experience. You are welcome to leave this out and skip to my next experience if you so wish. Now, there are many examples I could give. However, there was one particular occasion that stands out. One day I had a particular date that I just could not get out of my mind, and so I entered it into my diary on my cell or mobile phone. It was months away, but I just could not get it out of my mind. I had this feeling that something good was going to happen on that particular day. Soon enough, that day arrived. It was a Sunday, and I was staying at my parents' house. I said to them in the morning that I had an entry in my diary for that day that simply said something like, "Something good will happen today." My parents enjoyed going to the casino, and my dad was like, "That's it then. We're going to the casino. What else could it be?" I told my dad, "No, that's not it. It's got nothing to do with money. It's something else." My dad wouldn't have it. Both my parents got ready to go to the casino, and I just sat on the sofa feeling very relaxed, knowing that something was about to happen, and I was excited to see what it was. I just can't tell you enough how certain I was. My parents walked through and told me that they were about to leave and asked me if I was sure I wanted to stay at home. It was literally at that precise moment when they were saying goodbye that the front gate intercom to the complex started ringing. I jumped up and said, "This is it. This is what I've been waiting for." I remember my parents looking at me rather strangely. I don't blame them. I answered the intercom. "Hello," I said. "Hello, who is that?" the voice said. "Justin," I replied. "Justin, it's your cousin Gavin, from Holland." I told him that I would open the gate and I would meet him outside the house. My mom asked who it was. I told her, "Mom, it's our cousin Gavin. I told you something good was going to happen today." He was my mother's brother's son. We had never met Gavin. We had never even spoken to him. He lived in Holland, and he and his girlfriend had gone on holiday to Cape Town. They then drove for 2 days to Durban, where we lived, and went to our old house, only to be told by the neighbors that my parents had moved. They had the old address. He followed our old neighbors to where my parents lived to come and pay us a surprise visit. A surprise it sure was, and also a shock for me that a feeling that I had felt for months was so strong, and something happened. Unfortunately, he took his own life a few years later, but I am so happy that I believed in the feeling I had. Otherwise, we may never have met him. So, I did say that I had another experience. This experience I remember a bit more clearly, as it happened a little over a week ago. I snore rather badly, and have been told that it sounds like I stop breathing at certain points during my sleep. It is something that is getting looked into, but last week I woke up during the night gasping for air. As I woke and took a breath, everything was pitch black. My eyes were closed, and again, I could feel that my spirit was not fully in my body. I just lay there, too scared to move. I waited for what felt like at least 3 minutes before I felt that I was fully back in my body. It must have happened gently, as I didn't feel that sucking motion like I did the first time. There was no light, no angels singing, or any other being communicating with me on this occasion. It may have been the very early stages of an NDE. I'm just not sure what to make of it. I've tried to explain everything as I can remember it. I will concede that my first experience happened about 25 years ago, but I firmly believe that I had an NDE. I will never forget it and often tell people about it. Some may think I'm crazy. I just think I'm blessed. Thank you for all that you are doing. That does it for Justin's experience. What did you all think about Justin's experience? Did you find his story enlightening? Do you think that both of these were NDEs? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Just remember to be respectful and try to elaborate on why you feel the way you do. Also, if you disagree, do so respectfully. Until the next video, stay blessed.